Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me in this live section. So guys, let's talk about Mazen Namdekano's court update. You know that he was in court a few days ago, and then it's better and important we talk about what happened in the court. Guys, you need to see the way Nigerian government presented their three witnesses to come and testify against Simeon Ekpa. You need to see the way Igbos betrayed Simeon Ekpa. Guys, you need to see the way it happened. Now, Master Simeon Ekpa said, "I'm innocent," against the allegations of Nigerian government, and then it is only three witnesses that Nigerian government have, to testify against Simeon Ekpa, and then these three witnesses, they are all Igbos. That's the shocking thing. Is now Igbos fighting against Igbos, and then not just Igbos, they are IPOB members. So guys, you can see what is happening. Simeon Ekpa had to tear up because he couldn't believe that he would see his own fellow freedom fight members, coming out to testify against him. He had to cry in court. Guys, this is so bad that his fellow people, an Igbo person, these people are from they are from Igbo land, and they are IPOB members. Nigerian government, called them, and then they reside in Finland. They called them to come and testify against, Simeon Ekpa. It is appalling. You know, hey, it was a shame on on them because they are Igbos, and then they are IPOB members. They talked bad against Mazen Namdekano. So Nigerian government presented their three witnesses who testified against Simeon Ekpa and against Biafra restoration. Guys, you need to hear what these people said. They said that there is nothing like Biafra. Fellow Ipob, it is very sure that these people must have collected money. Yes, probably, because imagine Ipob members in Finland. These people are DOS in Finland. They come out to say that that there is no Biafra, that Simeon Ekpa is not, because they call them to ask them if Simeon Ekpa is truly an Ipob member, and then they said Simeon Ekpa is not an Ipob member. That his agenda is to destroy Biafra. That was what they said against him. Trust me, Nigerian government will do all in their powers to make sure that they bring down Mazi Simeon Ekpa. Trust me. So Nigerian government presented their three witnesses who testified against Simeon Ekpa and against Biafra restoration. These people are those who came to witness against Biafra. They reside in Finland, and they came to witness against Biafra. Now, these people are also DOS member. They are what? DS member in Finland. Now, the first person, the first person's name is, and the first person that came to testify against Simeon Ekpa, his name his name is Williams Wokedi. Now, the first person that came to testify against Simeon Ekpa, his name is Williams Wokedi. And then this person he's the DOS in Finland, or he's the, yes, according to what they said, he's the second person that testified against Simeon Ekpa and Biafra. He's the second person that testified against Simeon Ekpa and Biafra, and his name is Williams Woked. He's the second person that testified against Simeon Ekpa and Biafra. Now, in this in the so-called, and the second person that came to testify against Simeon Ekpa, his name is Isaac Kalu. He is the IPOB national coordinator in Finland. So now the first person, his name is Williams Wokedi, and then the second person, his name is Isaac Kalu. You can see this part, all Igbo people. They are all Igbo people, and he's the national coordinator of IPOB in Finland. So now, the third person, his name is Pastor Udochi. He's a member of the DOS in Finland. These are the three people that came to testify against Master Simeon Ekpa. And you should check. The first person's name is Williams Woked. The second person is Isaac Kalu. And then the third person's name is Pastor Udochi. You can see these people are all Igbos. And now, this thing now is not a war between Nigerian governments and Simeon Ekpa. It is a war between fellow Biafra members and Biafra members. Tell me, what amount will you collect, when what amount will you collect that will satisfy you when you know that the Igbos are are being persecuted? How much will you collect from Nigerian government? And you see it is so bad. You collect money for Nigerian government, and you see you watch your people die. You watch your people being persecuted. Martin Canada has been there for so many years. Maybe must have tried to bribe him, but that man is very stubborn. That is why he's still there. You collect money to talk against Simeon Ekpa, and then you watch your people suffer for so many years. You watch your people being killed, being marginalized politically. Check, is there any position that Igbo people have in National Assembly? You can barely see an Igbo man on that place. You can barely see an Igbo man. Yes, that's to tell you that politically the Igbos are marginalized politically. So these three people went to they reside in Finland. They came to the court where Mazi Simeon Ekpa is continuing his trial. They went there and they testified against him and Biafra. They said Biafra is dead. Yes, they said Biafra is dead. Imagine. Biafra and Nigerian government, which one is dead, please? Biafra and Nigerian government. Nigerian government that mind their own people, which one is dead? According to Showere, he said that Nigeria is already dead. In fact, Tinubu is now moving towards burying it. That is the stance of Nigeria today. And these people had the guts, the audacity to say that Biafra is dead. Biafra, that is a spirit that can never die. Yes, if Biafra is dead, Mazi Kanu will not be taking it up. Now he will not be in that place. People thought that when Ojukwu died, that Biafra government will die too. But no, Mazi Kanu is still agitating. And this is how the generations will keep agitating until finally Biafra comes to a reality. Until Biafra has their own government. So these people, they came and they are Igbos. They must have collected money. You collect money and watch your people suffer. Watch your people being persecuted. Watch your people being marginalized in all round. The Igbos, right from the time of the Civil War, they have been suffering, politically marginalized. They don't want them to be in power, but you want to use their resources. You be killing them, you don't want them to go. It is bad. What the Igbos are just saying is, let us go. Let us go. That is what the Igbos are saying. Because you guys are persecuting us. Yes. Right from the time of the war, the genocide. You saw, people that will experience that thing. It was really a bad thing because a lot of people lost their life in that scene. A lot of Igbos, major, especially Igbos, lost their life. A lot of casualties came from Igbo people. These people said it's Biafran war, Biafran civil war, but it is not a Biafran civil war. Look, Gowon is still going to come out and confess. He's going to still come out. The way he came out and confessed about the people that won the true election as at that time, that is the same way he will still come out and confess and tell the world why he killed the Igbos. Because, recently we heard that Gowon came out recently after the May 30th, that day that we remember the fallen heroes in Biafra. We heard that Gowon came out to say that that why he killed the Igbos is the only option he had to unite Nigeria. And I'm asking myself, so you killed the Igbos to unite Nigeria. So the Igbos are not among Nigeria. If the Igbos are not among Nigeria, why don't you allow them to go? Because I don't understand why you're killing some people and you're saying you're uniting Nigeria. Does it sound well? What does killing have to do with uniting? So you can imagine what Gowon is saying, that he killed the Igbos to unite Nigeria. It doesn't make sense. He's going to still come out and tell the world, because you cannot come and say the only option you had was to do what you did. Now, when they went to Aburi for the Aburi Accord, when they went to Ghana for the Aburi Accord, both Ojuku and Gowon, and then the president of Ghana was present. Now, that's to tell you that for Ojuku's presence to be there, that's to tell you that Nigeria has always wanted the peace and unity of this. Like, I'm sorry, the Igbos. The Igbos has always wanted the peace and unity of Nigeria. For Ojukwu to be present there, they were talking about one Nigeria there. Nobody was talking about division. For those people now that will come out and say the Igbos want to just destroy this country, they want to divide. What about then that they wanted one Nigeria? What happened? Did they talk about Biafra? The Ojukwu talk about Biafra. The Odumegu Ojukwu talk about, division of this country. They were talking about one Nigeria. That was why the Aburi Accord, they attended the Aburi Accord in Ghana. And then they know that Aburi Accord, Ojukwu and the colonial masters know that Aburi Accord is going to what? Bring security for the East. Because one of the major problems the East had then was that they were being killed in the North. And then their resources were being stolen. They take their resources. So they needed security. The Igbos were being killed in the North, being maltreated in their own land, though. In their own land, they were being killed. So that was what led to the Aburi Accord. And then Ojukwu said, no, my people cannot be killed like this. Let's make peace and let peace reign. Let's stand for one Nigeria. As at then, the Igbos wanted one Nigeria. And then after the meeting, Ogowon came back to Lagos, Nigeria. And what happened? Ojukwu was talking about Aburi Accord we stand and we must follow. And Gowon was saying another thing. Gowon was saying, from Aburi Accord, you have fought. The Igbos have fallen. Imagine someone that agreed for peace and unity came back then and upturned the agreement and started buying the Igbos. 5 million, even till date. You see, the blood of these people that were killed in this genocide will still be, crying, because we see him come out. People are saying, has karma fallen upon him, or is he fighting with guilty conscience? So you can see 5 million more than were killed in that genocide. They left Biafran soldiers to attack innocent they left Biafran soldiers to attack innocent children, innocent people, bombarded school, bombarded churches, bombarded, in Igbo land. Most of the casualties were from the Igbo people. You can see 5 million people. Do you know these 5 million people? 5 million people lost their life in that scene. Even after the civil war, I believe so many died because some were traumatized, some were, frustrated, some even want to commit suicide. So because of it, life was too difficult for Igbos then. Because you saw the way everything happened. Even after the civil war, Gowon only gave them people that had 200 pounds or more than that in their account. Gowon only gave them 20 pounds. Wickedness. See the way Igbos are being treated. And that is why Odumegwu Ojukwu, said no, we must surely have our own government, which is Biafra. We should have our own government, which is Biafra. And now he's no more. And then Master Namdekanu took it up. You can see that the Igbos were actually they wanted to contribute to one Nigeria. But because of selfishness, Gowon, they're all in what they were interested. Gowon and the colonial masters were all interested in our resources. I would say yes, he collided with colonial masters to make sure that the Igbos doesn't have security, so they can access their resources. That's just it. They were interested because Igbo is blessed. Major petroleum is in Igbo land. Yes, Igbo is blessed. You don't want these people to get into power and you're using their resources. It is very, very, very bad. So this thing Gowon is coming out to say that he killed the Igbos to unite Nigeria. It doesn't make sense. Or he will still come out and tell the Igbos why he killed the Igbos during the civil war. He will still come out and confess. So let's just focus on Simeon Ekpa's court updates. So like I said, 4 people, 3 people, Nigerian government presented 3 people who testified against Simeon Ekpa and Biafra restoration. Now these 3 people, guess what? They did not even have anything to say. Yes, They did not even have a good evidence to show that Simeon Ekpa is a terrorist. So now, these three people are what? DSS members in Finland. And the first person's name is Williams Wokedi. He is the second, and then his second person that testified, the second person's name is Isaac Kalu, and then this person is the IPOB national coordinator in Finland. All these people are all IPOB members. So people that came to talk against Nnamdi Kanu are all IPOB members. That was why Simeon Ekpa had to burst in tears, started crying. It is so painful to see your fellow freedom fighters coming out to talk against you because you must have collected money. The Igbos have suffered. The Igbos. So you feel collective, you want to collect money, and then you watch your people suffer, you watch your people being persecuted. Yes, Igbos are really, really maltreated. It is, even foreigners has confirmed it. An Indian lawyer confirmed it. The Igbos are being persecuted. They should release that man, release Nnamdi Kanu, let lights shine again in this country, Nigeria. Nigeria doesn't know that Nnamdi Kanu or Biafran government is the only thing that will restore peace and unity in this country. Yes, because one Nigeria has already brought hunger, hardship, and insecurity. People are being killed on a daily basis, and then the government is not saying anything about it. And these people that came to testify against Simeon Ekpa said Biafra is dead. It's the lie, oh. If we should talk about the one that is dead, I would say Nigeria is dead because nothing is going on in it, nothing is moving on, everything is irrelevant. Imagine in this kind of country, the Nigerian government or Tinubu's government will leave the important things they're supposed to do, to make sure that they fix this country. Imagine they said they borrowed money, and the money they borrowed, they said they borrowed. The money Tinubu, do you know that it is shocking that Tinubu has borrowed more than the past president of Nigeria? Tinubu has borrowed more than the past presidents of Nigeria, and then we are not seeing any positive change at all. When Obasanjo was in power, what happened? He cleared all the loan in Nigeria, the ones Nigeria has borrowed. Now, today, Tinubu is the third country, most indebted country, third most indebted, which Tinubu has. This is what Tinubu is. This is his achievement by making Nigeria third most indebted country. In fact, not just that, Nigeria is the worst country. It is recorded where you give birth. That is why you see Nigerian politicians are running to abroad to give birth to their children there so that they can be citizens of that place. Who wants to be citizens of Nigeria? They will destroy Nigeria and then make life better for their children abroad. It's now the poor masses that will be suffering all these things. It is not fair. I believe one time, these people will come out and confess of the evil plans, the agenda they have in Nigeria. So now these people came. Their name is, let me mention their name again. One of the name of people that came testify against Simeon Ekpa, one of their name is Williams Wokedi. He is the second person that testified against Simeon Ekpa. The second person, his name is Isaac Kalu. He's the IPOB national coordinator in Finland. And then the last person, his name is Pastor Udochi. He's a member of DOS in Finland. These are the people that stood to sabotage Biafra. These are the people that came to sabotage Simeon Ekpa. And then, and we also heard that, the Minister of Interiors came to Finland. The Minister of Interiors came to Finland. Can you imagine? Minister of Interiors in Nigeria came to Finland to also push these people to do the needful. These three people to, also sabotage Biafra. He came to Finland, and then they have collided with Nigerian government to what? Sabotage Biafra and Simeon Ekpa. And now, do you know that all these people that testified against do you know that all these people that testified, both the Minister of Interiors and the three people that came to testify or sabotage Simeon Ekpa, do you know that they had nothing, they couldn't even present their so-called evidence? Do you know these three people and then the Minister of Interiors? They couldn't even say anything good or prove that Simeon Ekpa, is a terrorist. If you call someone a thief, yes, it is you that will defend or give evidence to make sure that you make this person guilty. Just like the court says, someone is presumed innocent until he's proven guilty. Someone is presumed innocent. It is everywhere. These people know, even in the law, international law and Nigerian law. Someone is presumed innocent until he's proven guilty. So now, Nigerian government should come and prove they brought only three. So out of all the, they will come and say, Simeon Ekpa is a this, Simeon Ekpa is a that. So it's only three witnesses you have to come and testify against him, to come and prove. Which you guys know that this thing never, he's not a terrorist. Which you guys know. So all these people ranting on media saying that Simon Ekpa is this. Imagine people that came, Nigerian government that came to testify. It will get to a time they will keep sending people to come and testify. One time like that, Tinubu should go and testify his own. Since he was the first person that applauded Finland government for arresting this man. He applauded them without even making investigation. Anything that happened in the east, they'll say is what? Ipob. Anything happening in the east, they'll say it's Ipob. So it is high time for Tinubu to go and testify his own, no, because we don't understand. People you're sending, they don't know what they are doing. They can't even prove that he's a thief. Why in Nigerian law, you know that, or Nigerian courts or an international law, you know that someone is presumed guilty, presumed innocent, or else he's proven guilty. They should come and prove that this man is a terrorist because he has said it that he's innocent of all the accusations by Nigerian government. So, and it's appalling that these people that came to testify against Mazi Simeon Ekpa is all these people are fellow freedom fighters who have turned their back to stab Simeon Ekpa at the back. That is why he broke down in tears in court today, because it is so painful that people that you call your fellow freedom fighters are the one talking bad against you. So now there's something that these people did in the court when the trial was going on. There's something that these people that came to testify against Simeon did. Now, before they said they want to testify, do you know that they told the judge to send the whole IPOB members in the court away? Imagine you came to testify. Why can't you boldly stand and testify? Or if you actually know what you're saying, the first thing they did was to tell the judge before they started saying anything. They told the judge to send any IPOB member in that place away to leave the court premises. Guys, can you imagine? Before they started testifying. So that's to show you that these people are lying. They don't want they don't want these Biafrans to hear what they're saying against IPOB members, because they know they are lying, because they know they're lying. So they had to send them away. And then the judge granted their request to. The judge granted their. Tell me, what kind of judge is this? Granted their request and sent them away. And then when they finished testifying, they were scared of their life. And then they told the judge to authorize policemen for them to take them to their different destination, as they are scared of their life. This people knows that they are lying. They are lying. They don't even know what to say. They don't want IPOB members to hear what they're saying against Simeon Ekpa. And then the judge also granted their request and then authorized policemen and took them home from the courts to their houses, to their different destination. So it is shocking, like I said, that these three witnesses are all evils. They are all evils. So now this is not a case between Biafra and Nigerian government. This is a case between fellow Biafrans and Biafra, fellow Biafrans and Biafrans. Have you seen the people that are putting Simon Ekpa where he is today and Mazi the Kanu where he is? Imagine people that they call freedom fighters are now the ones stabbing Biafrans at the back, stabbing Simon Ekpa at the back. These are the people that are putting Mazi Kanu, according to what they say, DOS. They're the one putting Mazi Kanu where he is today, and they're the one that have put Simon Ekpa where he is today. For them to come out and talk bad against Simon Ekpa, they're the ones that put him where he is today. So Simon Ekpa, begins his terrorism trial in Finland after admitting the case of tax fraud with a plea for lesser jail terms. So in court, with IPOB's delegates summoned by the Finland government to come and prove if Ekpa is an IPOB member or not. Ekpa's counsel had earlier advised him to cleave onto being IPOB member, since IPOB Finland is noble and have high respect by the Finnish government. So in court, Ekpa was questioned on his membership of IPOB. The delegates from IPOB furnished furnish the court with, or the delegates from IPOB furnish the court with oral and non-oral evidence of how Ekpa has never been an IPOB, but rather in many occasions had threatened to end IPOB and even boldly stating Biafra is dead. So now these people clearly said, both oral and non-oral, and told judge that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, sorry, Mazi Simeon Ekpa is not an IPOB member, saying that in different occasions he has been threatening to end IPOB and even boldly stating that Biafra is dead. We all know that we all know the government that is dead we all know the government that is dead, not Biafra. Nigeria government is what dead. Ekpa, who couldn't believe himself with unfolding events, was forced into tears as he vulnerable, having stripped naked by IPOB's distancing today. So these people really stabbed him at his back. It is so painful that watching his fellow freedom fighters come and stab him at his back, talk against him, saying that he's not an IPOB member. So now I don't understand how Ekpa would accept to be a member of a movement he brags to end. So it can only happen when one faces reality. These updates. So in the Ham District Court in Lahti, Finland, Simeon Ekpa, a Finnish Biafran Dao citizen and leading voice for Biafra self-determination, boldly declared. I'll take that again. He said, in Ham District Court in Lahti, Finland, Simon Ekpa, a Finnish Biafra Dao citizen and leading voice for Biafra self-determination, boldly declared, I have not ordered weapons. Simon Ekpa said that he has not ordered weapons. He has nothing to do with weapons. They said he's a terrorist, but he has not ordered any weapon. And then dismantling the prosecution's baseless accusations of inciting terrorism and participating in a terrorist organization. This powerful statement is not just a denial of wrongdoing but a testament to his innocence, an unwavering commitment to non to an unwavering commitment to non-violent advocacy for the Biafran cause. Ekpa's trial, steeped in political motives, seeks to silence a movement for justice, but his words expose the truth. His mission is to highlight the sufferings of Biafra. Now, Simeon Ekpa's mission is what? Self-determination. His words is his tool. Is self-determination a crime? His mission is to do what? Express, to highlight the sufferings of Biafran members even during the time of the war. Even after the war, Igbos have still been persecuted. So his work, his mission is to highlight the sufferings of Biafrans, not to fuel violence. It has nothing to do with violence. This profound defense Ekpa's innocence. This profound defense Ekpa's innocence, framing his statements as a rallying cry against the criminalization of African activism. So Simeon Ekpa's declaration, he said, I have not ordered weapons, directly refutes the prosecution's claims that his media activism and call for self-disobedience in Nigeria constitutes terrorism. The accusation hangs on painting Ekpa as a financer or organizer of violent rebellion. Yet, no concrete evidence supports this narrative. Now, they say that Ekpa is a financer of an organizer of violent attacks. That was what they said. They said Ekpa is a financer and organizer of violent attack. So now, no concrete reason, no concrete evidence supports this narrative. No one has come to prove. The ones they brought to prove, they couldn't give a tangible evidence. They couldn't even present the so-called evidence they came to do. They did not do it at all. So now, He said, I do not support any violent group. This is what Mazi Simonekba said. He said, I do not support any violence group. My mission is to raise awareness, not fund armed rebel. His mission is to what? Point out to tell the world that Igbos are being politically marginalized. That and then the Igbos are being persecuted by Nigerian government. That is his mission. His mission is not, to other arms. He said, I do not support any violent group. This is what Simonekba said. I do not support any violent group. My mission is to raise awareness, not fund or arm labels. This word punctuates his innocence, revealing a man dedicated to exposing the plight of Biafran through speechless broadcast and social media, not through arms or violence. So what these people do is they use their mouths, their words is their tool. Even Martin and the Kanu, he's when that time before he was arrested. Yes, he says it in radio. He always, air news in Radio Biafra, saying many exposing Nigerian government. You can see that the words of these people is their tool. The tool is their words. Sorry, the tool is their words. That's the only thing they can do through their speech, broadcast, and social media, not through arms. They expose the plight of Biafrans through speech, broadcast, and social media, not through arms or violence. Ekpa's statement is a cornerstone of his defense, emphasizing that his activism is rooted in truth telling, not terror. So Ekpa said that his activism is rooted in what? Truth telling and not terror. It has nothing to do with killings. They said, I have not ordered weapons. Simon Ekpa said, I have not ordered weapons. Is innocent of all the crimes by Nigerian government. So now the prosecution's attempts to equate his advocacy with criminality lacks substance. Yes, his prosecution attempts to equate his advocacy with criminality lacks substance. These people cannot prove, just like in any court today in Nigeria or outside the country, someone is what? Someone is presumed innocent or else he's proven guilty. That is it. Someone is what? And they know it. They said he's a thief. Come and prove that this one is a thief. Nigerian government cannot prove. They keep sending witnesses to come and prove he's a thief. These witnesses cannot even prove. When you even come down to Mazin Namdekanu's case, you will see that the so-called DSS witness cannot prove that this one is a thief. Just like yesterday he was in court. These people just dragged, wasting the time of both the one presiding over Mazin Namdekanu's case, Judge James Omotosho, and then the lawyers of Mazin Namdekanu, and then wasting the time of Mazin Namdekanu himself as well, because they have nothing to say. Yes, they don't have anything to say. The only thing they are just ranting, bringing things that cannot even prove that he's a terrorist. That is it. So now, he said Ekpa's statement is a cornerstone of his defense, emphasizing that his activism is rooted in truth telling, not terror. The prosecution attempt to equate his advocacy with criminality lacks substance, relying on vague allegation of incitement rather than proof of direct involvement in violence by asserting, I have not ordered weapons. This is what Simon Ekpa always say. Ekpa not only denies the specific charge, but also reaffirms his non-violent stance, challenging the narrative that seeks to vindicate him. Ekpa's trial cannot be viewed in isolation. It is a politically charged effort to suppress the Biafran movement. So it is important that we all know that you see Ekpa's trial is a politically charged effort by Nigerian government to suppress Biafran movement. So now, if you doubt this, let me just tell you what happened when Simon Ekpa came to court for the first time. Yes, let me tell you. The way it's normally done is when you come to court for the first time, when you start your trial, the judge have to what? Do proper investigation. If they are supposed to bring witnesses from Nigeria, witnesses will come. But when Simon Ekpa went to court for the first time, what did they do? The judge, without investigation, without taking due process, without doing the normal procedure in trial in his trial, The judge already said that Simon Ekpa is going to go to jail for good 6 years. What does this tell you? There was a man that said that this judge must have collected money from Nigerian government because what can Nigerian government not use money to do? Please. They prefer citizens suffering. They prefer using money and bribe than putting the money into important sector in this country to make this country better, because they want to use by all means to what, to make sure that Biafra comes down, because they are scared of Biafran government. Do you think Tinubu can stand Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Eh? No, no, no. Do you think Tinubu can stand Simeon Ekpa? So they're making sure that this people rots in jail, so that or rots there or stay there to when he's out. So when Simeon Ekpa came to court for the first time, quickly the judge overnight concluded the case, and then said she's going to go to jail for 6 years. Tell me, if that 6 years is not a red flag to tell you that these people actually collected money. 6 years. They know why they said 6 years. Normally, there was a man that made his research and said that anybody who committed terrorism, or they said he committed terrorism and treason, the jail term for the person is 21 years, 14 to 21 years, or life imprisonment. So why the 6 years? Where's the 6 years coming from? That should tell that these people formulated this thing. All these things are all planned out by Nigerian government to make sure that Biafran government doesn't come into reality or they go down. That is it. So that 6 years now, this is all planned out because they know that after 6 years, Tinubu knows that he's going to come out again as the president of Nigeria. He knows he's going to come out. What can money not do? He knows. You guys know how he came in 2023. That's the same way he's going to come out in 2027 too, because of the way things are going. They'll still have their way. That's Nigeria for you, where vote doesn't count. We vote for this person, tomorrow we'll see another person that we did not vote for. That is what Nigeria today is. There is no democracy in this country again. Yes, democracy is being truncated. The people that fought the true democracy, they are no more in existence, and therefore they have truncated democracy. Democracy is dead in Nigeria. So now Tinubu knows that he's going to come out again. That is why overnight the judge concluded 6 years, so that before Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is before 6 years, after he has been released, or after 6 years he has been released, he must have left office that time. So you can see all this is well planned out. I should tell you that this Ekpa's trial cannot be viewed in isolation. It is what, a politically charged effort to suppress the Biafran government. Nigerian government has long branded Biafran activists as terrorists to justify its violent attack on Igbos. Now, you know that all these violent attack in Igbo land, it is what? Nigerian government, yes. This Nigerian government that is doing all these things. So they have long branded Biafran activists as terrorists to do what? To justify its violent crackdowns on Igbo community and in the southeast, marked by extrajudicial killings and systematic marginalization. Ekpa, as a prominent diaspora voice, threatens this status quo by amplifying this injustice globally. His statement, according to what Ekpa said, he said, "I have not ordered weapons. I have nothing to do with weapons. I am innocent of all the allegation by Nigerian government." Reflects his refusal to complicit in Nigeria's narrative, which seeks to criminalize dissent while ignoring state-sponsored violence. So you should know that Nigerian government today, they do what? They say that dissent are criminals. They say that dissent are terrorists, and then they do what? They ignore state-sponsored violence. You all know that, in fact, the chief of the first staff knows people that are Nigerian politicians, even some Yoruba chief that are terrorizing Nigeria. But he has sat on that problem. He knows where the problem is coming from. The chief of the first staff. That's to tell you that Nigerian government, they do what? They say terrorists. They say terrorists are the good ones in this country. Why innocent people are the main terrorists? Look at TG Bello that is going up and down, unaliving many people, causing problem. He's the most wanted terrorist in Nigeria. Bandits, look at how he's going around buying people, causing havoc in people's villages. They don't see you as a terrorist, though. Trust me, Nigerian government don't see that man as a terrorist at all. Because if they see him as a terrorist, they would have brought him down, captured him in so many years. But look at the people they see as terrorists is people like Simon Ekpa and Mazin Nambekano. That's to tell you that Nigeria's narrative is to what? Criminalize dissent. Why they ignore state-sponsored violence. Finland rose in this trial raises serious concerns about the alignment with Nigeria authoritarian tactics by prosecuting Ekpa for his advocacy. Finland risks endorsing a dangerous precedent, silencing African activities under the guise of counter-terrorism. The defense highlights this hypocrisy, noting that Finland joins the silence, branding a movement of self-determination. Now, if these people truly put Simon Ekpa in jail, just so that Finland has joined to silence self-determination. Self-determination is not a crime. And Nigerian government and Finland government knows this. Is it bad to come and say we want our people to go? Let's remember, like I said earlier, the Igbos were actually in support of one Nigeria. They were actually in support of one Nigeria before they started killing the Igbos, and the Igbos said enough is enough. Yes, you can't keep persecuting us. You can't keep using our resources and you're killing us. Enough is enough. We want our own government. You see, we want our own government. So you can see that truly before Igbos were in support of one Nigeria, but because of one Nigeria is only bringing death, mourning, weeping, hunger, insecurity to them, and then they said no, we will not be part of Nigeria again. They call Nigeria a zoo country where animals live, not even human beings. So they said that we want our own country, our own government, which is Biafra. So now Finland has joined to silence self-determination until these people come out, until Nigerian government come out and tell the world that self-determination is a crime. Because it is in the constitution, it is the right of Martin Kanu, of Francis Ekpa to do what? Agitate. It is in their rights. They have the right. It is in the constitution. Like I said, the constitution is already dead. Yes, because if the constitution is dead, if it's not dead, they would have released Mazinam Kanu years ago. If the Nigerian constitution is not dead, they would have released him years ago, released him on but two, they will not even arrest him because it is their rights. Rule of law, there's nothing like rule of law in Nigeria. Oh. People that make the law still break the law by themselves. So Finland role in this trial raises serious concern about the alignment to Nigerian authoritarian tactics. I'll take that again. It says Finland roles in this trial raises serious concerns about the alignment with Nigeria's authoritarian tactics by prosecuting Ekpa for his advocacy. Finland risks endorsing a dangerous precedent, silencing African activists under the guise of counter-terrorism. The defense highlights this hypocrisy, noting that Finland joins to silence, branding a movement of self-determination as terror. They now see self-determination as terror. Please, Finland joins to silence, branding a movement of self-determination as terror, while protecting the image of the diplomatic ally Nigeria. Ekpa's assertion of innocence is thus a broader stand against a global system that punishes those who challenge powerful states. Ekpa's words, he said, I want to highlight the suffering of Biafran people, reveal the heart of his mission, the Biafran struggle rooted in the atrocities of the 1967 to 1970 genocide is a demand for self-determination. So now let's know that the mission of Shimon Ekpa is to do what? Highlights. According to his words, he said, I want to highlight, according to Ekpa's words, he said, I want to highlight the sufferings of the Biafran people. And then this reveals the heart of his mission. The Biafran struggle, rooted in the atrocities of the 1967 to 1970 genocide, is a demand of self-determination. In response to decades of oppression, Ekpa's activism seeks to bring global attention to this cause, not through violence, but through awareness. According to his declaration, he said, "I have not ordered weapons. It's a direct rebuttal to attempts to mischaracterize his work as terrorism, affirming that his tools are what, not weapon." So Simon Ekpa said that his tools are what, not weapon. They do this through broadcast to highlight the suffering of Biafran people in the atrocities that happened years ago in 1967 to 1970. That scene was really a bad one. Nigerian government by the Igbos for nothing. The prosecution case hangs on distorting Ekpa's call for civil disobedience and as incitement. Yet this ignores the context of Nigerians' furious and unjudicial aggression against Biafran. Ekpa's defense is in court. Biafrans are being killed. This is what Ekpa said. He said, Biafrans are being killed. He said, Biafrans are being killed, silenced and demonized. And now I stand here accused. And now, according to Ekpa, he said, Biafrans are being killed, silenced and demonized. And I stand here accused, not for any crime, but for refusing to stay silent. That is why they have arrested both Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Simeon Ekpa. If Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was silent of the persecution of the Igbos, do you think he'll be in DSS custody till now? Do you think? So it is because of they have refused to be silent. That is why they arrested the both. So according to Simeon Ekpa, he said that Biafrans are being killed, silenced and demonized. And now I stand here accused as a terrorist, not for any crime, but for refusing to stay silent, emphasizing his innocence and exposing the trial true purpose to suppress a movement by targeting its most visible advocate. His trial to be silenced is a powerful assertion of his right to speak for his people. Now, he's for the fact that Nigerian government and Finland government is trying to silence him. That's to tell you that they're actually violating his human right to speak for his people. Ekpa's trial reflects a broader trend. Ekpa's trial reflects a broader trend of criminalizing African activists who challenge systematic injustice, from Cameroon to Amabazonia, Nairobi. Those who speak out against state violence are often labeled as threats, arrested or exiled. Ekpa stated, according to him, he said, "I've not ordered weapons" is a clarion call against this injustice, asserting his innocence while highlighting the hypocrisy of word that punishes truth tellers. So you see, this country today is a country that punishes truth tellers. By persecuting him, President Alexander Storm of Finland risks undermining its own democratic principle, aligned with a global order that prioritizes geopolitical alliance over human rights. So these people know that they are violating his human rights, his rights. He did not do anything. He's not a thief. He's not a thief. He's not a criminal. He's not a terrorist. So the absence of evidence linking Ekpa to weapon or violence. The absence of evidence linking Ekpa to weapons or violence further solidifies his innocence. These people have not seen him with any terrorist. There's no evidence linking Ekpa to weapons or violence. So let's remember Sunday Igboho when he was agitating, the first time when he was arrested. I just want to prove to you that you see this arrest of Simon Ekpa and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a political effort to silence Biafran government. So Sunday Igboho, you all know that man was agitating. I don't know if he's still agitating, because right now he's not even serious in the agitation. When Nigerian government arrested him, he backed out in a way. So when he was arrested by DSS, what happened? When they were searching his house, they said Let's know that he's doing the same thing that Mazen and Kano is doing. No, that self-determination is what he wants to. That is what Mazen and Kano wants to in their own government. He wanted the Yorubas to have their own nation, and then Mazen and Kano wanted Igbos to have their own government. So now, when they arrested him, they searched his house. They said they saw him with what weapons, and that is what terrorism. And then for the fact that we want secession for Nigerian government, they say is what treason. So this is the same thing they have said Mazen Kano has done too. And today that man is not in DSS custody. He's moving around freely, traveling in and out of Nigeria. That's to tell you someone that they found with weapons. But Mazen Kano and Simeon Ekpa, they have not what found this man with what weapons. They have not seen him with weapons. So now, the absence of evidence linking Ekpa to weapons of violence for that, or let me take that again. Say the absence of evidence linking Ekpa to weapons of violence further solidifies his innocence. The prosecution's reliance on ambiguous claims of incitement reveals a weak case designed to intimidate rather than convict. Ekpa's trial is not just about me, it's not about one man. As he defends note, it is not about movement, it's about a people. His words demand that the world recognize the Biafran struggle as a legitimate fight for justice, not a terrorist enterprise. Simeon Ekpa's resolute declaration. He said, I have not ordered weapons, is more than a defense. It is a proclamation of innocence and a challenge to the forces seeking to silence him. His trial in Finland is a politically motivated attempt to criminalize Biafran activism and protect Nigerian image at the expense of truth. Ekpa's advocacy, rooted in highlighting the sufferings of his people, is not terrorism but courageous and stand for justice. Now, Ekpa's mission is what? Is to what highlights the suffering of his people. Is that terrorism? That is courageous. That is standing boldly for justice. You guys know that the Igbos are being marginalized. These people are being treated badly. They are being, maltreated. So Simeon Ekpa's um so the world must rally behind Ekpa, recognizing his innocence and the broader implications of his persecution. His statement is a beacon for all who fight against oppression. Truth cannot be silenced by false accusation. As the trial continues, let us echo his call. Simeon Ekpa is innocent, and the Biafran struggle will not be silenced. So, everybody, I believe that one time the truth cannot be hidden. Yes, the truth, nothing is hidden under the sun, meaning that the truth cannot be hidden. One day, the same way that Gowon came out to confess of who won the election as at then, that's the same way these people or him, people that are making sure that Biafran government go down, will still come out, to expose themselves, to confess of how they are truly maltreating the Igbos and, making lives unbearable for the Igbos in this country. So as you can see, in conclusion, these three Nigerian government presented their three witnesses that were in Finland that were to testify against Simeon Ekpa, and then they broke down in tears because and then Simeon Ekpa broke down in tears because imagine, it is so painful for you to see your fellow freedom fighters talking against you. And these people are IPOB, not just IPOB, these people are Igbo people. Igbo people is so bad. These people are supposed to be making sure that these people leave or he gets released. But no, because of they have collected money in one way or the other. That is why you collected money and you're watching your people suffer. You're watching your people being persecuted. What is the crime of Igbo? What is the problem of the same Nigeria has an Igbo problem? What is their crime? What have they done? What have they done? What is their crime? So, guys, we have come to the end of this live section. Don't want to hit that subscribe button, and then also come back. Don't miss any of our live section because I'll still come back and update you guys on what will happen after this. Even his next trial, I'll come and update you guys on what will happen after this. So, guys, don't miss any of our live section. hit that subscribe button so that you'll be notified whenever we want to air. So, guys, thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and also drop a comment below. Let me know what you're saying on this headline. Don't forget to also drop a like for us, and then share this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.